What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a Thursday edition of the Ysn Power Hour. DJ Oakley with you alongside Paul Munson and Billy Mack. The tremendous trio is back, ladies and gentlemen. It could be a really, really good show, or this thing could get really sloppy in a hurry. So
Avery's right here. She goes, "Is it just all the bald guys?"
Olivia.
Yeah, it's the bald
Olivia,
guy
sorry.
show.
Olivia says,
Did you just mix up your daughters?
Yeah, I did for a second.
Nice job.
That's okay. That happens.
It happens. Hey, listen, it's even tougher when they're twins. Okay, let's just put it that way. It is all right. So first off, who keeps putting in private chat? I am Groot.
Really?
You can imagine who that is. It is National Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. So I read the bio on this one. I mean, it is what it is. So the question on National Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day is, has there ever been an overreaction to spilled milk for you guys? And for me, I guess, too, because I have to answer these questions because it's only fair. Paul, have you ever overreacted? I can almost get it out. Overreacted to anything that was just not that big a deal? I'm sure Carrie's going to have something to say about this.
Yeah, she's got a better memory than I do of the stuff that I done. At least when I was with her. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's probably definitely been a time that I flipped out over something that was really no big deal at all. And it's probably been something at home with her. So I don't know. Or something with the kids. I can't even, there's probably too many, hey, why are you on the computer? And I walk at the door and they're on the computer because they're allowed to be on the computer. I don't know. It's just been, you name it, being an adult, married and have kids, everything is an overreaction anymore. So whatever.
Mac, I'm going to ask this, and again, try not to stutter as I get it out. Have you ever overreacted to something that wasn't such a big deal?
Yes.
No.
I actually remember one as a coach when I was the head coach over at Bristol, and the kids had prom, and I found out that one of our players on the team took a young lady to the prom and had a girlfriend and didn't acknowledge her, and he acknowledged her, but he didn't dance with her all night. And I don't know what it was. I just went crazy on him. And I said, that's just ridiculous. You took her to the prom. It's her night. It's the second most important night of her life that she can remember outside of maybe her wedding. And you need to, own up to that. And you need to go and apologize to her. And I just I lost my cool and overreacted big time, knowing that it really wasn't that big of a deal. But at the time, it was a big deal to me.
I can appreciate that. Coach Seidel saying, I don't believe that about Mac at all, that you would overreact to things. I don't know. Paul, here's a little something for you. You burn the rolls.
Oh, hey, listen, I don't
burn the rolls. We don't have this issue.
Thank you.
Was that a big deal?
I listen, I know the rolls. I can probably just take the bottom off because the rest is good. But I like the whole roll, and I like it to be lightly toasted, lightly brown. Don't burn the rolls. It'll screw up the whole spaghetti because the rolls are burnt. Because then I'm like, you know what? Now I got burnt rolls, and it's just terrible.
How does the roll screw up the spaghetti?
Because it just does. Because now in my head I'm like, now I gotta look forward to eating burnt rolls, and I'm like, I can't enjoy the great homemade spaghetti that just got made. So
what?
Yeah.
Now, are you with the burnt rolls or whatever rolls they are? Do you swab the deck with the roll, or do you go roll butter and that's it?
I do both. You got to do roll butter during the meal, and then when the meal's over and you have all the extra sauce in the bottom, then you swab the deck, as you say.
This is my favorite right here. Also, he showed me how to fold his T-shirts the right way once. How did that go?
Not very good. So, just like she folds my pants the wrong way too. But you know what? If she does the laundry and folds the clothes, no, I'm not. Hey, listen, I'm not shoveling anything. She knows this. If she does the clothes and they're folded, they go in the basket. They go in the room. We put them away. It's not a big deal.
Except for the hoodie. The hoodie doesn't go in the basket. It goes right back on.
Yeah, the hoodie goes up in the shelf and it magically disappears and it ends up on her somehow. And then if I do it though, I fold them the way I like them, and then I put them away myself too. So, yeah, everybody's got their own way that they fold clothes, and
what's your way? Is your way the two fold? Put it face down, two fold?
No. So I take Hold on.
Paul's going to, ladies and gentlemen, here on the YSN Power Hour, we're going to teach you the right way to fold T-shirts according to the legend Paul Munson.
T-shirt.
Here we go.
Right? There's the
Also
front
for
of your
sale.
T-shirt. Front of your T-shirt right there. Take the T-shirt. I fold it in half.
Nope.
Nope.
Now it's like this.
Nope.
With the sleeves. I fold the sleeve over.
Nope.
One fold. Two fold. You have a nice folded T-shirt, and it's done.
You would be divorced in the Yoakley house.
That's how I do it.
Sarah Yoakley showed me
You gotta have the emblem in the front.
the
man.
emblem's in the front because otherwise you got a giant crease running down the middle.
Yep.
No.
Look at you. Yes, you do. You got a giant crease. Yeah, Coach. Yep. I don't know who he's telling incorrect, but I'm going to assume he's siding with me. That is not how you fold a T-shirt. And listen, Coach Seidel worked at Buckle, so he knows how to fold a T-shirt.
This is true. We did find that out.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I've always folded a shirt because then they fit in the drawer.
You know how that works? That's how a single dude
Bingo.
folds his laundry.
That's how I folded my T-shirts before I got married. You know what else I did? I would fold them like that, and then I would roll them, and then stuff them into bins, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
But then you get married, and your wife says, You learn. I mean, I've learned to fold almost like I work at, bam, bam, up, and then you put the T-shirt away. We're losing viewers because we're talking about how to fold T-shirts. That's okay. But we're doing a service to people like Michael Page. But yeah, I'm with Kerry on this one. I'm sorry, Paul. I don't want to sell you short.
That's okay. No, that's fine. I fold my clothes. She folds her clothes.
But wait a minute. Do you guys so you fold your clothes differently than her clothes, right?
Yeah,
Or like when she folds your shirts, does she do it her way or your way?
her way.
So then you've got shirts that don't match fold.
No, I don't, because when I take them out of the basket, I refold them the way I like them and put them away. We
So
don't
you
put
get double folded.
Yeah, the clothes don't get put away. They get put in a basket, put in the room, and then each individual will put their own clothes away. And when I reach out and I grab my shirt that's not folded the way I like it, I unfold it, fold it back up, and put it away.
Coach Seidel says, single guy here. That works on two different levels because Coach just put himself out there as an eligible bachelor, as well as that he's folding clothes correct.
Hey, he's check marking some things there.
I mean, we can make a YSN match.com app.
I see Michael Page as a guy who just leaves them in the dryer and pulls it out until the dryer's empty. Like, I'll wear this today.
I can respect that.
But again, for the most part, like right now, like T-shirts, like it's underneath something like this, so you don't see it. Like these things get hung up. Like T-shirts, just they're underneath something that don't really matter.
See, I have bins. I have bins. My wife has made bins for me for T-shirts, and they're all color coordinated except for the mismatch one, which we don't.
That's a little OCD with the color coordination.
Well, I got it. Like if I want. Like, for instance, like today, like I have this, right? This gets folded now. It used to be hung up. Now there's no room, so this gets folded. But I wanted blue underneath it, so I know that my blue shirt is there. I don't know. Yes, it is a little weird. I'm creating a recruiting profile for Swipe left if you want Coach Seidel. I have a friend for Coach. Oh my gosh, here we go. Carrie's playing matchmaker here on the YSN Power Hour.
And it begins.
Yep.
Well,
listen, it's like, until Steve got his girlfriend, it was the same way with Steve. He's asking everybody for hookups. You know that person? You know that person?
Hey, look, I will say this: Steve has a wonderful.
Well, he hit the jackpot there.
Jen is awesome.
He's great.
Big fan of Jen. So. Shout out to Stevie and shout out to Jen. But listen, Steve is gold. Anything Steve touches turns to gold. I mean, he's got a wonderful family. Now he's got Jen. He's got us. Naturally, it just happens like that.
Yeah. What more could you want? So
we better
just
get
wait,
to
Coach Seidel. We'll get you there too.
We better get to some sports before we lose any more viewers.
Stick with us, kid.
Well, I mean, he was a good time the other night.
Yeah, he was.
It was a great time. It was a
Brooks
great time.
Seidel?
Yes. It was fantastic. He went home $20 richer. I guess technically the same.
Even, yeah.
All right, what do we got to talk about? All right, so we got a couple things to talk about today, a couple big ones. So that we don't have much in the way of small talk. So that's kind of why we spent a little bit extra time on the National Day. Guys, interesting coming out of the EOAC, we've got big-time matchups today. We're going to go through the rundown that'll lead us into it. But we talked about it a little bit before the show started. You've got Valley Christian, which, I mean, listen, they went, I think, 6-1 prior to in the first round, so to speak, of the EOAC. And then now you've got a first-round champion or first-half champion and an overall champion as the athletic directors and the commissioner met yesterday to discuss what to do, because there's teams all over the map with different records and things of that nature. We're going to get into this discussion in just a little bit. But we're also going to talk about, we were going to talk about it yesterday, but we had some good conversation. The whole situation in Dallas with the NBA and how Mark Cuban said, we're not even going to play the national anthem anymore. And now Adam Silver coming in and saying, yes, you are. You are contractually obligated. Every team in the NBA contractually obligated to play the national anthem. So we're going to talk about that. It is going to be a difficult topic to stay politically correct on. So we ask that you kind of keep your opinions, light. You know what I mean? It's okay to have discussion, and I'm not necessarily talking to you guys. It's okay to have discussion without having to necessarily agree with everybody, but we just want to have a conversation about it. It's about, if the national anthem is needed, why the national anthem is needed, or why it isn't needed anymore at sporting events. So we're going to get into those topics. But first, we go to the YSN rundown for tonight. Helps if you're on the right page. And tonight is Thursday, February 11th. Girls basketball heavy on the network. We've got Lakeview and Girard. Pav's going to have that game. Mooney and East, Dom's all over that. Salem and Alliance got canceled, so there will be no Quakers tonight. There will be no quick bounce back for the Lady Quakers. Cheney versus JFK. Billy and Betos. You guys got a double header here tonight, and that's why you'll see Billy leave a couple minutes early today to make sure that he gets over there in time to set up for all of YS Nation. Lisbon and Wellsville. Rick's going to have that one. McDonald and Lowellville. We will have that one for you as well. Newton Falls and LeBray. We'll have that. Paul, you got Springfield Ridge. That a baby. 5:30 start for that tip-off.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got the real A-team doing the big game, United versus EP, for control of that EOAC, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. Waterloo and Western Reserve. Anthony will have that game for us. Back over to Waterloo for Ant. So he's taking the journey. Still here looking out the window, looking for his ride, unfortunately. So he might get that journey. Otherwise, he's taking carts all the way to Waterloo. Fitch and Boardman, yours truly, will have that call. Ty's bumming about that. Liberty versus Champion. Richie will have that for us. And, of course, Billy and Betos. What do you want to be called? What did you call yourself? The APA?
APA.
And what's that stand for?
It's an old wrestling thing, but it's more of how they are.
Okay.
We more represent them than the actual meaning behind the name.
So you like to drink beer?
Yep.
Attaboy. And we got wrestling. Boardman swimming tonight starting at 5 on the network. Again, another big night on the network. 10,000 views last night on the network. A lot of good stuff, including some big games. And when we talk about big games, none are bigger than the game. And it was West Branch. It was Salem. And, man, it was a fight last night. And EB, the assistant coach for Salem, I think it was 21-9 at halftime. And you could feel the tension on the Salem side of the gymnasium. Unbelievable. I mean, that's 2 games in a row they've been on pace. It was 24-20 this weekend when the Quakers lost. And now you got 21-9. See, Anthony got his ride, by the way. 21-9 Quakers at halftime, and they were down to West Branch. And West Branch, they executed their plan. You got to tip your hat to the Lady Warriors, as Paige did to start off the broadcast. But I'll tell you what, Salem came on strong at the very end. what more can you say? This time of year, I mean, other than for conference championships, and again, we're going to talk about that at length. Is there a right way to gain momentum towards the tournament? Do wins and losses really matter when you're already seeded? Is there something in the head just trying to get back on track, Billy? I mean, baseball is a perfect example of win and loss not mattering going into a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, you never want to lose to your rival, or you never want to lose in conference games. So, it just depends on what your goals are. If you have goals to win a conference championship, well, then that's not very good. You don't really want to drop those games even after you're seeded. If you play in a conference where, or even at a school where the expectation is to play in district finals, then it might change. I've been in places where the coaches have laughed about conference champions. They said, "Oh, we get a cute little $10 T-shirt. We want the hardware." So, like, that's great. It just depends on what what your goals were going into the season. I mean, if it's important for the kids to win a conference championship, well, then yeah, you can't drop those games. But to me as a coach, we want the hardware. We want the rings and the jewelry and the stuff and the plaques. That's what we want, not necessarily a T-shirt.
I think it's interesting. I mean, these two teams, they respect the hell out of each other. I mean, you look at West Branch, you look at Salem. The tradition, the rivalry has been around forever, but they don't necessarily like each other. There were a couple moments during that game last night that got a little bit chippy, especially towards the end. Coach Hamilton finding the right kind of makeup of who's going to be the right players down the stretch, and it turned into a speed game. Salem needed the ball back. They needed to create turnovers. They were able to do it down the stretch. Fourth quarter, Salem looked really, really good. It's the team we imagined would have taken the floor last night, but it was the first through third quarter West Branch that looked even better. And if they're able to close out games like they did last night against Salem when the Lady Quakers are on the comeback, then we could be seeing West Branch again in the state championship, which would be an absolute joy to see. And you know what? It might be apropos because the way they were pulled off the floor last year. Paul, when you look at rivalry games, you throw the records out the window. How do you turn the page if you're Salem after a game like that, going on a 3-game losing streak headed towards the tournament, and then getting canceled tonight, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate they got canceled tonight. There was some issues with Alliance, so they just all of a sudden their rug pulled out from underneath them a little bit here. So, like you said, you'd like to get back out on the floor and kind of like fix some of the things that went wrong, and you don't get that chance now, and you have to wait until the tournament, or unless you can pick up some games, because they actually get the bye, don't they?
I believe so.
Yeah, they don't play till the 20th now unless they can pick up some games between now and then, which is they have a week to do that. So hopefully they can do that. That's the best remedy. You can practice all you want and get out there and try to run some drills and scrimmages and things, but unless you can get back out on the floor and take care of business and work through those things, you just got to kind of take your medicine and be like, well, okay, let's hope this doesn't bite us in the ass when we hit the tournament. So, I mean, those rivalry games, you get up and if it's a close game, you're fired up the whole time. When you get down, if you're down, you're fired up the wrong way sometimes because you're just all jacked up and you're getting pissed and things aren't going your way and you get upset. And if you're winning it, you're jacked up and nothing can go wrong and shots just go in no matter which way you throw them up. And, it's a good day.
I'll tell you what, I was jacked up last night. I sent you guys a text because I was so fired up and ready to go. I'm a competitor. So when there's extra competition for me at the game, I get a little fired up. And last night, I was pleasantly surprised how many, and very overwhelmed, to be honest with you, how many responses we got after the game about our call, YSN's call, of Salem versus West Branch. And I was very, very I was psyched, man. I was psyched because when you go up against the Empire, sometimes it's the rebellion that doesn't really stand a chance. But looking at our numbers last night, guys, we won. And I think another shot across the bow here at the network, getting great confidence and compliments, I should say, from both West Branch and Salem. And I got to say this, there were some great players last night. Sydney Mercer, who's just a junior for West Branch, she was all over the floor. She was rebounding. She was putting up second chance buckets. She was, boxing out. She was doing all the things that a coach dreams of. Not necessarily scoring 30 points, but she was doing everything else, and she was letting the guards run the floor and do their thing, and it opened up avenues for West Branch to win that game last night. And on the other side, you had a very young lady in Cammie Rome step up and make her moment, etch her name in the stone a little bit in Salem and say, listen, we got some great seniors, but let me tell you something. You got to deal with me for this year and 2 more. So get ready, because Salem's not going anywhere anytime soon. Awesome. Just awesome to watch. And I know that there's some people that aren't fired up about girls basketball and about girls sports. Let me tell you something. If you couldn't get fired up about that game last night, and there was a couple more on the network, and there's more on tonight, if you can't get fired up about it, check your pulse, because something's wrong with you. What do we got? We have down here, Jet says, I believe Salem has 2 more makeup games. So, Paul, we'll confirm that, and we'll be ready to go. So excited for that. A big game tonight. Big game last night. Palestine beating Letonia, because all this EOAC stuff with the conference championship and the first half champion and the overall champion, none of it matters if East Palestine doesn't win last night, right? United wins outright if that's the case. But I'll tell you what, Palestine beats Letonia last night. Not the prettiest game they've ever played, not the prettiest game Letonia's ever played, but it was in the Muck Bowl. East Palestine was able to get the victory and set up what should be tonight for the banner. And I know I've already seen our social media. I understand Valley Christian thinks it's interesting, but the reality is this is for the overall championship. We're proud of Valley Christian. Congratulations. First year in the league, first year in the conference. You win the first half, whatever they're going to call it, championship. Congratulations. Going 6-1 through the first side of it. Congratulations. But the overall championship, which is why I'm interested why they decided to call it the overall championship and not a second half championship, I don't know, but I digress. It comes down to tonight, because if United wins their battle against East Palestine, tonight tip-off, 7 p.m., Doc and Chris will have the coverage. If they win it outright. United will win. If East Palestine wins, things get a little bit messy, because you got Columbiana who you have to play, and then if Columbiana wins that game, then I think it's a 3-way tie for the EOAC championship, and then you have another champion on top of that for the we talked about it yesterday, guys. Conference championships, shared championships, or solo championships? Should it be all or nothing? Your thoughts?
Here's your trophy, everybody. Everybody get your trophy.
Here.
There you go.
There you go. Everybody gets a trophy. You get a trophy. You get a trophy. You get a trophy. You get a trophy.
Hey, are the trophies AirPods? Because I'll take a trophy.
Yeah, me too. I haven't had those yet.
Do you like this? Do you like this at all?
Nope, not a bit.
How do you solve this? I mean, talking to some of the athletic directors, they all agreed on this, but how do you solve this the right way? Is there a right way?
Yeah.
Let's be honest with why they agreed on it. Okay? Because it's less headache for everybody else, right? That's why. Because everybody gets to have a little piece of happiness, right? Instead of just coming to a decision to say, no.
Who's got the best record?
Who's got the best record, and go with it and come up with 3 or 4 different types of tiebreakers, because it's a weird year, and say, hey, listen, if you played head to head, boom, there's one. Obviously, that's one. If margin of loss, how about home wins, something in there you can come up with where you have 3, 4, 5 different tiebreakers and go from there. It's simple.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be drawn out this much to say we have a first half champion, a second half champion, an overall champion, and a hey, good luck for next year champion. No.
Yeah, I mean, if the league decides, again, we talked about this the other day. Some leagues have said there is no league champion. We don't care what happens. There's no league champion. Play your games, play them the best you can, and we go from there. And the NE8 is one of those leagues. They said from day one, starting with football, there are no league champs. You're going to just play what you can play, and good luck to you.
I don't understand that either.
And it's rolled over into basketball, and and it'll probably roll over into the spring.
But Paul, if Poland wins the game, if Poland wins against South Range, they're the league champ.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, realistically, though, people might not have to see it on paper. Okay, if you want to go back, you talk about football. South Range didn't lose one game in football. They had to play. Only team they didn't get to play was Lakeview. So
league champ.
Okay, they were 6-0, league champs. But the league says, no, you're not league champs. You just went 6-0 in the league, and okay, good to you. You didn't play everybody, so we can't say you're a league champ. This right now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen is Poland, like you said, if Poland comes out here Saturday night and they win, they haven't lost a game in the league in 3 years. So
they're league champion. South Range should be league champion. I'm sorry, Lakeview, that you didn't get to play South Range. South Range is league champion. It's 6-0, right? Because if they go 6-1, what is there? A tie at the top?
They would probably say co-champs, yeah.
But then there's a head-to-head, which makes you a champion.
Yeah. So, and then, well, it all depends.
Thunder Mifflin, this is Pam.
Yeah, it's all these guys making these funny things on the thing. And now they know we're on the show, so they're calling me now. Poland, like we said, they win Saturday. They have not lost, like I said, in 3 years. So they'd be league champs, but they're not going to call them league champs. Nobody's beat Struthers boys yet.
League champs.
League champs. But
conference champs, I guess, is what you...
They're not going to say they're league champs, though, because they don't
this
have
week. This week.
And it's... But the bad thing is you either do that, and realistically, you're going to sit there and say, okay, listen, nobody beats Struthers. Yes, Struthers.
If you're going to
the champs,
you don't have to be... If you in this scenario, they shouldn't have been obligated to play that team twice this year.
Exactly.
They should have been able to go out and find another team and play, and not be forced or obligated to play their league games at a home and away. They should be, hey, we played you once, we don't have to play you again because there's no champ.
That's the idea behind the first half champion, right? Oh. That's why Valley Christian is in the position they are, because I believe at some point they agreed on, okay, we're just going to crown a champion from the first half of the first round. You go through one round against everybody, that's going to be our champion, because they didn't know that there was going to be an opportunity to get these games in, right? So my head automatically goes, and listen, I'm not going to criticize the EOAC because they've been trying to do the best they can with what they have, right? They've been trying to put pieces together of the jigsaw puzzle as it's being cut, basically. So I have no problems with what they're doing, but I think there's a better way. We've been talking about it all along, and not to get into the tournament, which I think is the ultimate of the decisions, but I think that all they have to do is get Valley to play East Palestine one more time, and you got your league champ. Because if Valley beats East Palestine, then Valley's in on the championship try, whatever. But again, it all comes down to tonight. There's a whole mess that's going on right now. If East Palestine wins, and listen, I can't wait for this game. I'm going to be watching this game. I'll have my iPad up, calling the Fitch game, and I'll be making sure that I am eyes on the East Palestine United game. Because first off, it's going to be great.
In minor league baseball, they do a first half, second half thing, but they play a series of games at the end to crown a overall champion. If the champion is not the same team in both first and second half. So maybe they should have just went first half, second half, two teams play, there's your winner.
I just to me,
or just have a tournament and just make it easy.
The tournament. Finish out your conference schedule before scheduling anybody else. I think that works. Didn't who was it? The NE8 did that? And in football season? No. EOAC, because United had to play East Palestine.
Oh yeah. Yep. After the playoffs.
Yep. While there was still time to play. So they've done it before. I'm just interested to see how football, and I'd be open to discussion if somebody would want to, talk about why this kind of the events happen in this order. But I know that, that they kind of decided on something, then they tabled it, then they brought it back. I'm interested to see.
At the very least, going forward with these schools, like this stuff that we're living in today is not going away. All right. We're going to have to deal with this. And going forward, you should at least have a conversation about a conference tournament. This needs to be, you have to have at least a discussion and say why it's good, why it's bad, and get it out there, because to not have one, I think you're missing the boat. And you're missing an opportunity in a lot of different ways for your community and your conference. I really do.
You want to talk about revenue generation? A tournament would be over the moon. And maybe if there was some network that wanted to host that tournament and make sure that all games are broadcast, that would be even better. One spot. Again, we goes back to the one spot. You have the tournament games. You spread them out through the day over a weekend, and it's done. It's over.
Oh.
And that's it. But you're right, Billy. A tournament protects you all day, because it doesn't matter. The regular season would be just for seeding, excuse me, and a regular season champion. Then you go to the tournament, and then it goes into the OHSAA rules where, listen, if you can't play in the tournament, you're out. That's it.
Plus, you want to talk about creating buzz and excitement for your team, for your conference. That alone will do it. You will get us at least on the show talking about a tournament based of everybody's conferences going on right now, which would be exciting for everybody.
That's what I mean. Imagine right now we're getting ready for a tournament that starts on Friday, goes through Saturday, and we crown a champion on Sunday or Monday, depending on if they want to play Sunday or not. I know some schools might have an issue with it. Fans, fine. Monday at 7 o'clock, we're crowning a champion. I think it's unbelievable. I think it's the hype around it, the excitement, the revenue generation. Ron says it all the time. When Corona is over, what are we going to have? We've got to take ideas now, and that's, I think that we as in an area, and I think in the sports world, have failed of trying to create solutions that last in Corona and then after it.
Well, Billy said it yesterday. If people think things are going back the way they were, they're wrong. Things are changing, and things have changed, and you need to make the adjustments. And what better time than now, when it's already a shit show? Like, make a change. See, hey, what the hell? Roll the dice, see what happens. Take the globe and shake it up and see. Okay, this works. This didn't. Okay, we tried. Now we know what we can work.
To me, this is just a no-brainer. This is not even, listen, I'm coming up with the idea, so it can't be that great of an idea to begin with. But, it's just simple. It's just so simple. It solves all your issues with these first half, second half, overall. It eliminates all that. You know how we devise a champion? We have a tournament at the end of the year. That's how we say, here's our champion.
Can you imagine an MVAC tournament?
It would be amazing. Every conference.
Real quick, I got a special guest. I got the bald Bill Cosby.
Hey! What sweater do you have on today?
Just plain Jane.
Oh, come
on. I was going to
on.
wear the striped one, but, you call me names with that. Call me Freddy Krueger. So I'm like, guess I can't wear the striped one.
You need to be better dressed when you come onto our shows.
Doesn't get any better than this.
He's got the corduroys on and everything.
Corduroys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epitome of style.
Look at you.
Corduroys every day almost.
You gonna wear it?
Walking down the hall.
Did you forget your train conductor hat?
Hey.
All right, hey.
It's cold. I wear my cousin Eddie hat.
I don't want to put you on the spot here, Tone, but you're part of the EOAC. Talk to me about, would you want to see a conference tournament for basketball, for volleyball, baseball, things of that nature? You couldn't do it with football, but if you could see a conference tournament, would you be interested in that?
No.
Okay, why?
Because you're trying to make a run in the regular old tournament, in the state tournament. So to me, that's just kind of a distraction.
You don't think that'd be beneficial for the schools and in the leagues?
Yeah. We got 4 bald guys on the show now.
Get in here, Fern.
Is that Farron?
Yeah.
Get him in. We got 5 bald guys. We just look like a bunch of you-know-whats. Almost said it.
Bald guys, yeah. There we go.
Bald guys, that's it.
Bald guys.
Yeah.
No, I
What if the tournament was before, though? Like
Before the tournament. Yeah.
Before the state tournament, you have, 4 days or 5 days, whatever it is, to get
A weekend.
Okay, a weekend. You get a weekend tournament. You're going to decide who is your overall champion in your league. Do you do it prior to the OHSAA tournament?
Kind of like the OVACs do.
no.
You don't like it?
No. Takes away from the importance of the regular season meetings.
But like in a situation like now where you're going to have a first half champion in Valley Christian, the EOAC, and you've got an overall champion who will be crowned later, what do you do there? They're not diagnosing it as a co-champion. They're saying first half champion, like almost like a separate championship. Wouldn't this solve that?
Why are they doing first half, second half?
We don't know.
Isn't
No
it
clue.
one whole season?
I mean, it was read the paper, Tony.
Sorry. I've been busy.
How many bald guys can we get on one show?
Well, we got 4.
We're going for the Guinness record right now.
Sorry, you don't like my answer, but
No, that's
Yeah,
okay. I respect it.
Everybody's and we got it right from a coach. So I mean,
I'd be interested to see how many coaches. I mean, like football, you couldn't do obviously because that'd be tough. You'd have to set it up kind of like the college football. But
if I had a team that was positioned to make a run, all right, maybe further than I've ever made a run before in the state tournament, no, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to go into that.
here,
see that.
hold on a second. We're adding to the baldness of our show.
oh my, is it Farron? Oh my gosh.
Hi, DJ. Yeah.
Hi, Donnie. How are you?
Good.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. Now we've got an AD. Now we've got an AD. Donnie, why do we not see tournaments in conference play?
From an AD standpoint, if you were doing single elimination tournaments, it'd be very difficult to figure out how many games you schedule in the regular season.
But what if they said you have an open weekend at the end? You can have conference play. You can take it off, whatever you want to do. You have to decide as a conference. UHSAA says this. Is that something that you think would be beneficial to a league from a financial standpoint, from revenue and for the kids?
This year?
Any year.
This year, it would not be a...
Well, no, you can't have people in the stands. But in a normal year, don't you think a conference championship or a conference tournament would be awesome? Kind of like they do in college?
I'd like to see a conference tournament, but I'd also like to see a cross-conference tournament. So, if you had the EBC and the NE8, go ones versus ones, twos versus twos.
Sort of like what the ACC Big Ten matchup is.
Yes.
I mean, that'd be wild. I think that's something you do in preseason, though. You know what I mean?
Or you do around Christmas time. You schedule your non-conference games that way.
There it is. How sweet would that be? I know a guy that likes to do that kind of thing.
Maybe set up a Christmas tournament.
Hey, the red stands out against that one.
Doesn't it?
Though, too.
Doesn't it? Look at that red.
There's no red.
See you, DJ.
I had to
Bye,
cut,
buddy.
I had to
Thank
cut
you.
it all off now.
I'm curious.
See ya.
Bye, Tone. Good seeing you.
I got you.
I'm real curious. I mean, I look at Michael Page, another one. The OVAC only takes top 4. What else do we have here? The lack of hair is tragical.
That's their new favorite word now.
Is this a broadcast or a pool?
Or is this the new
Yeah.
episode of Coneheads?
Put your money up.
I gotta say, I mean, like, I think we all look good bald. Like
I agree.
you gotta have a special kind of dome for the baldness, and
Yep.
we all possess it. But Paul is not as bald as Billy and I, but
No,
you're
I
getting
don't.
there.
I don't shave it completely. Like, I mean, I get it down there pretty good, but I don't.
This is as
raise it.
clean as it gets. This is a fresh
raise
trim.
it. But I will say, wasn't it you, Billy, telling me, or DJ was telling me about that new thing?
Oh, that's my go-to.
Yeah, I might have to go to that.
the freedom, whatever it's called.
Tony,
I love it.
Tony was telling me about it too.
Tony's the one that got me into it. I asked him about it last year, and I've been hesitant to pull the trigger because I kind of like the 5 o'clock shadow. But I tell you what, this feels good.
Yep.
You know, the most disturbing part of getting a haircut as a 36-year-old man is cutting the hair, and this is how I pick it up.
Yeah, there's not a lot there to pick up.
Throw it away. I get more hair when I trim up my beard than I do the top of my head. So that's unfortunate. But
Yep.
you know, that I have a big brain, so the hair has to go. So
Pushing it out.
The girls are now doing this thing. So when Daddy tries to do it, Daddy, you have little hair.
Yeah.
So
I've never been able to do that. Even when I was younger.
No.
Never been able to.
This segment brought to you by Turtle X. Glad everybody's having a good time. Oh, it's possible for a man to clean up after shaving? Weird.
Uh-oh.
Billy? Uh-oh.
Got some splaining to do.
She's just throwing jabs today.
Paul used to use the Flowbee? Is this real?
No.
Oh.
I've never owned a Flowbee.
Lies and deceit. That's what we say in our house. Okay, so I think we're all on the same page. I want to see a conference tournament. I want to see many conference tournaments, but I do like the idea of cross tournaments at the beginning of the year.
They could do that, and then for their non-conference. They could do it. They could set it up that way.
I'm interested how you do. He said what, 2s versus 2s, 1s versus. How do you do that in the beginning of a year though? Based on last year?
Yeah, based on last year.
But what if you lose all your seniors?
Yeah.
Well,
Like if you're like Columbiana's in a tough place this year because they lost 37 seniors on their basketball team.
Then you would have to project if you didn't do it that way, and that is going to piss some people off.
But everybody's playing, so it doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
Sure.
Again,
Sure, but if you're
if you're celebrating Christmas championships, are you really?
No, but I really think it could be a cool thing. I think it'd be a really
I think it'd be
cool,
awesome. I would love that would be something I would get behind. A YSN sponsor that,
because then you could get some schools that might have ducked schools for years and went to different conferences, and then it could match up.
What
to
two
where,
schools would you do, or what two conferences would you do? Because MVAC is just too big to do that. I would say the NE8 and the MVAC.
Well, I think you could do the MVAC on both tiers, on both sides, right? So that would be one. So you would just cross play each other in their own division, their own conference.
The Scarlet and Gray.
Yeah, that would be your right.
I've been told not to say the T word. The T word's a bad word, I guess, in high school now. So,
What, tier?
shh, you watch your mouth. Quarter in the jar. Yeah, they're divisions. So we don't say the T word when we're talking about high school conferences. So the second part, we're already 15 minutes to go in the show, and Billy, I know you got to bounce here in about 10. This is going to be a really interesting topic. So again, I want to serve as what is going to be said is not. It is just ours, right? It is not the necessarily the Paul. It's your thing. How's it go?
He's gone. Look at him. He's lagged out.
Whoa. That is a weird look right there for Paul. I would say it is not the opinions expressed in the next segment are not those of Yoakley Scott Corporation, but those for entertainment purposes only. So Billy, the national anthem thing, right? You and I, proud Americans through and through. Mark Cuban comes out and says, "We're just not going to do the anthem anymore." What the hell? I hear Paul. I just don't see him.
You don't see me?
I see a blurred vision, Paul, right now. You look like you are 17 beers deep.
Yeah, see, like you guys all went blank.
I can see Billy just fine. Yeah, bounce and come back. There he goes.
Oh, there he goes.
And there he goes. All right, so give me your opinion on Cuban saying no more national anthem. You behind it, or is it stupid?
I really think it's just dumb. I think it's pointless because this was my issue with like the flag stuff, is because you're basically pointing at something saying this is an issue, right? So I think collectively across the country, we wouldn't say that, hey, the flag or the national anthem is an issue in the country. It what it stands for. You're basically just trying to attack something and rally behind it. I don't like it. I think it's dumb. There's bigger issues. This is the battle you want to pick. This is like, to me, like, this is something that you would like, we're going to stand firm on. Is this that one fight that you really want to have? Whether it's the NBA or whether it's with the media or whether it's with the entire country, this is the one fight you want to stand on. This is it. And I don't think that's the question or the answer to that question.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because as Paige chimes in, they haven't played it yet this year besides last night, I think, because you have the front side, which is Mark Cuban saying we're not gonna play it. Or this is why we're not going to play it. Because there wasn't really a defined, this is why we're not going to play it. It's just we're not. And then Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, comes in and says, yes, you are. You're going to do it. I think it's really interesting. Paul, what's your take on the Cuban stance of we're just not going to play it?
Well, I mean, I want to know why all of a sudden it took this long. Because if he said to his people at in Dallas and said, guys, listen, we're not doing this. They didn't do it during the preseason, and this is like 13 games into the regular season. They still haven't played it. Like, why all of a sudden now did it become like this? Oh, hey, this huge headline. Hey, Dallas isn't going to play it. Mark Cuban won't give an explanation of why. He just said, we're not doing it. He's bound by the rules of the NBA because he's an NBA owner and it's a franchise and it's in the league. And if the league says these are our rules, you have to play the anthem. That's why he's got to play it. You just can't go off and fire off in the Wild West out there and be like, well, I'm going to do whatever I feel like doing because you own the company. Yeah, that's great and all, but you still are bound by the rules of the league that you're in. Go start your own league. Go do something on your own if you want to not have the national anthem play.
I'm with you. And my opinion is, listen, I think what he was trying, and I'm not trying to defend Mark Cuban. I know there's a lot of people that will or won't or hate him because of what side of the fence he's on, but I'll say this is I think he was just trying to literally avoid controversy, any more pots being stirred, and by doing so, he stirred that pot, and Adam Silver just said, listen.
He's been like a fish out of water for the past like 2-3 years, because if you go back and look, first he said when all this stuff started a couple of years ago with the players taking a knee, there's articles out there that he was quoted, they will be standing for the national anthem. Our players will stand for the anthem. So he didn't want anybody taking a knee. And then a year later, he flipped it over and said, well, hey, listen, I'm all for the players having their own voice, and whatever they feel like doing, I'm going to support because they're my players and this and that. And I think you're right, DJ. I think right now he just said, well, listen, how about I just don't piss anybody off that he thought, and I'll just say, we just won't play the anthem. We'll just go ahead, do the starting lineups, have a game, and we'll do it. Well, guess what? You piss a lot of people off. And what's kind of funny is, where is he at? Dallas, Texas. Texas. Open containers and guns, boys. That's what they're allowed to have down there. And, you piss off some of them people, you might not have a team because they might just take you away.
Listen, at the end of the day, Mark Cuban is a egomaniac, okay? He is an egomaniac. He loves the attention of anything that he loves to do talk shows with all these national media outlets just to talk about politics and anything else that Shark Tank. He loves to see himself on TV. He loves to hear about him. I'm not saying this is why he did any of these things, but what I will say is this is the exact reason why MLB would not give him a team, because they were afraid that he thinks he's bigger than anything else.
I disagree with the last part. I agree with the majority of it. I think when you're that big, yeah, you like seeing yourself, but he's got his own ways of getting on television. He's not hurting for airtime at all when it comes to getting his point across. If he calls up, the Inquirer or whatever, rag he calls up, they're going to take his call. He's Mark Cuban. I just think it's interesting that, like Pager said, there's no pleasing everybody at this point. It's you're on one side or the other, and I really do believe in my heart of hearts. And I don't know Mark Cuban. I know him from watching Shark Tank and reading some of his books, but I feel like he was trying to help the situation and not hinder it. And the NBA is what they're calling a woke league, right? My thing about the national anthem is it's a reminder of why we can play, like during our games. The national anthem is played. It's a reminder that we live in a country that is free. Now, obviously, when you live in a free country like we do, that you feel safe for the majority of your life. It's interesting because you forget a little bit.
Take it for granted.
You do. You take it for granted, and I know people, point at the flag and they say, well, that's not about the military. It's about this, that. Listen, people have died that you don't know to represent that flag. That's what, when I look at that flag, that's what I see. You can see whatever you'd like. I like personally standing up at attention and thinking about for a minute and a half or however long that is about the people that I don't even know that gave up their life for me, my wife, and for everybody that lives in this country. If this wasn't a good country to live in, people would not want to be climbing over a fence or a wall to get here. It's just, and not to get political, but that's the truth. Like, we won the lottery being Americans. Let's
Absolutely.
just be honest.
And the bad thing is when you talk to some veterans, they say, listen, this is why we went and fought. We went and fought so you can have the freedoms and the choice. Sometimes there's a lot of veterans who they didn't mind. But listen, if these guys want to take a knee or they don't want to come out, that's their decision. That's what I fought for them to have that right. And like you said, DJ, hey, I stand up, put my hand on my heart, and I stand at attention for that. You get some of these people who are goofy or like, well, when you're at home watching the game, like the Super Bowl, do you stand and do that there? Well, that's not the play. I'm not in that venue. I'm not at that establishment to do that. So that's what, when you're there, that's what you do. Not.
The people who say that just want to start an argument. Let's be fair.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've gotten away from in this country is everybody wants to argue and nobody wants to hear the other side. And it's unfortunate. Nobody knows how to listen to the other side anymore. And you know what? I'm learning too, right? There's things I don't agree with that people say on this show or otherwise. But I like the national anthem being played before a game as a reminder. Not that I need it, but I think other people need to start understanding why we do it. As opposed to just taking it out of the game altogether. I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky. We're just, I'll put it that way. We're lucky. That's the easiest way to go. Billy, before you go, what's your beef? What's your filet?
My beef is Jeff because I already know he did not bring me a bang, and we got 2 games, and he should have brought me one.
Good luck, buddy.
So we might get RKO'd for the
again?
third time.
Oh my goodness! Thank you, buddy. Have a good game tonight.
Have a good one, Billy.
Yeah, but I mean,
my thing was like for the longest time I was that person that said you stand, you take your hat off. I don't care what it is. This is America. You do these things. You honor the flag. I've gotten a little bit, after talking to, you get to talking to some veterans. I mean, I'm one of those people. I don't care if it embarrasses me or not. When I see a veteran, especially because they always wear their hats, and I love it. You see one of them wear their hats, obviously before Corona. I used to stop in the store, shake their hand, say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, we went out to breakfast last Sunday, and there was like, I think it was like 5 or 6 of them came in. It was the older guys. I mean, these were Vietnam guys, some of the disabled veterans and things. And they all came in, they sat down at the table. I paid our bill. I walked over and said, guys, I know that I can't shake your hand, but I want to thank you guys for your service. I appreciate it. And the one guy's like, hey, we won't turn a dap down, and so they all did that. It was great because, listen, I never served. My uncle served. My brother served for a little bit. I never went to the military, so those people who chose, listen, I'm going to go defend this country for people who will never know who I am, never get to meet me, and never probably know my name, but I'm going to go do it so they can go out there and enjoy the freedoms that they do. God bless them. And you know what? For me, that's my little part. I can stand up, put my hand on my heart and sing it in my head because I don't have a singing voice. So, and just sit there and honor America. if you don't want to do that, that's fine. That's your decision. But my thing is don't desecrate it. Don't like do something stupid. Don't, I'm going to burn the flag or I'm going to tear it down and throw it on the ground. Well, then you're going to have a problem. That's just disrespectful. But
yeah, I mean, we're obviously not trying to get into to politics of this, and obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion because we live in a land of freedoms. Paige saying, when I was in high school, our football team stayed in the locker room for the anthem. In my 4 years playing, we never once were on the field for the anthem. I just realized that. Tradition's tradition. You know what I mean? If it's over 4 years, there's something to that.
yeah,
I don't think that's and I could be completely off base here. I don't think that's a message. I think that's just tradition.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. So, yeah, I mean, this has nothing to do with kneeling for the anthem. It has nothing to do with anything other than I think the national anthem should be played and people should, again, have their right to do as they wish for the national anthem. If it's, I'm going to stand. That's what I do because that's what I believe in. If people kneel for their beliefs, then that's what they do. It's none of my business. The same as it's none of their business if I stand or choose to stand. So I think but I think the national anthem has to be played. I do. That's my opinion, and I hope people respect it. So, Paulie, just a minute left. What's going on with the G. Burbick Farms filet or beef, brought to you by G. Burbick Farms. Go to the web, gburbickfarms.com. Their family's farm, your family's freezer. Go.
my filet is our people. I try to get ready to take care of a lot of our playoff games, and I sent out messages and talked to a lot of our announcers, and they are ready to rock and roll. And we are looking to get these games covered, and they're doing their best. And I can't thank our announcers enough because this has been a crazy year up and down the board because we get told games are happening at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock. Hey, we have a game tonight. We just picked it up. And a lot of times these guys are ready to go right there. So I can't thank our guys enough. They do a great job. And I'm just excited that they're a part of our team. And I told them that in the message I sent out today, I was like, you guys make my crazy ass job a little easier when you guys help out. So it was nice to see that everybody was like, yes. I didn't have one person tell me no, so I was excited. I said, hey, let's go. I actually put capital LFG at the end. So
Capital LFG from Paul. This is that time of year. I mean, we need all hands on deck, and our guys, our team, our girls are the best there is. And again, if you're looking to join our team, we're looking to have you. We really want more people, good people that want to win, and people that want to compete because we're in competition every day. Whether it's within our own four walls here, at the ping pong table, or we have some wagers going on, for our broadcast, or whether it's we're competing against other companies, other entities. We want the best.
right.
So if
I'm
you
going out tomorrow. Come on,
yeah,
let's go.
yeah, we're coming. We are the WWE. We've got the revolution is coming. As a matter of fact, the revolution is here. We saw it last night. So if you are looking to join YSN, if you've ever thought maybe I could do that, let's go. Let's get you on the mic. Let's get you cranked up to 10, and you can be the voice of the Valley, just like the guy next to me, Paul Munson. So my filet is going to be just the overwhelming support that we've had. That maybe doesn't go on social media. I love when we get criticized. I do, and it's National Cried Over Spilled Milk Day. Do I complain about it sometimes internally to you guys? Yeah, I do. But at the same time, I love it because it drives me. Competition drives me. Criticisms drive me. So when people criticize what we do and have no bearing on how we do it or understand why we do it, I love it. It fires me up and gets more coal in the oven. And usually that doesn't end up well for you, Paul. But usually for everybody else, fires them up. So I will. I can't wait. Coach Seidel wants in. This is not a joke. He wants to go. Give him that Sebring game. Give him that Sebring. There's nobody that's going to announce Sebring as well as Coach Seidel. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, I have not heard back from them. The other two, though, said they are doing their broadcasts. So
Okay.
we're good.
All right.
I get the clearance from Newton Falls, Coach. That's where you're going Wednesday.
That is going to do it for the YSN Power Hour. We appreciate you being with us, however long you're able to stop by. Don't forget, we have a boatload of great games on the network tonight. The one I'm going to feature is the one in United. It's East Palestine. It's United. It is for the chip, as far as I'm concerned. If United wins, it's over. They're the champion. Nobody else can reach them. If East Palestine wins, and man, this would mess up the conference, then all hell breaks loose. And talking to Coach Franklin, that's just the way he likes it. So he would love to see kind of messy up the mud puddle a little bit in the EOAC. So make sure you don't miss that one. Doc and Chris on the call. Tip-off is at 7 o'clock, so lots of games on the network. All you have to do, ysnlive.com/live, or go to our site, ysnlive.com, and click on Live Games, and you have all clickable links. Paul, we'll see you later, buddy.
It's America, Jack.